She was curled on the bedroom floor, completely still. I touched her shoulder to check if she was okay. She opened her eyes. Blood red, narrow, locked onto me with something that wasn't confusion or fear. It was hunger. Then she screamed, and the scream did not sound like a person. I had walked into that apartment to deliver a donut. I was 30 seconds from being eaten alive. The old man who sent me up those stairs knew exactly what was waiting in that room. He had done it before. 27 days on the street strips everything down. You stop thinking about the future. You think about today. Where to sleep, what to eat, how to stretch whatever coins you have through one more morning. A breath. I had built something, not much, but something. A job, an apartment, savings. And then, in the span of a few months, all of it collapsed. I ended up here, on a sidewalk, packing up a bag that held what was left of my life. That morning, a man walked up to me. He was old, soft-spoken, calm in the way a grandfather is calm, a face you trust before you have a reason to. He said he had a task for me. Simple, 5 minutes. $100 up front. Breath. Something small and insistent told me not to take it. I told that voice to be quiet. I needed the money. I should have listened. He was holding a small white box in his right hand. A donut, he said. His wife was home, and he couldn't climb the stairs himself. Bad knees, bad lungs, getting old. The apartment was close. 3rd floor, left side. He had pension business to handle and couldn't get away. I just had to knock, hand her the box, and come back. He pulled out the $100 bill before I'd even said yes. I took it. I took the box. Walking over, I'll be honest with you, the thought crossed my mind to pocket the money and walk in the other direction, or to show up at the apartment and see what was worth taking. An old man's place, a frail wife who couldn't fight back. Breath. I didn't do either. That's never been who I am. I almost wish I had. The elevator was broken. I climbed 3 flights, found the door on the left, and knocked. Silence. I knocked again. Still nothing. The doorknob turned, unlocked. I stepped inside and called out that her husband had sent me, that I had something for her. My voice fell flat against the walls and came back empty. Kitchen, empty. Living room, a sofa, a television, a small table, no one. Bathroom door open, also empty. One door left, slightly ajar. I knocked, no answer. I pushed it open. She was on the floor, fetal position, face buried in her arms. My first thought was that she'd fallen, that she was sick, that this was a medical situation, not a horror one. I stepped toward her and asked if she was okay. I reached out and touched her shoulder. That's when everything changed. Her head snapped up, eyes open, and they were wrong, not clouded, not confused, narrow and blood red, and fixed on me with something I can only describe as predatory, not the look of someone startled, the look of something that had been waiting. Breath. She let out a scream that hit me like a physical blow. I stumbled back. She was already on her feet, fast, impossibly fast for a woman her age. Her nails were long and curved. When her lips pulled back, her teeth came to points. Breath. I held up both hands, kept my voice as steady as I could, told her I was there to bring her food, that her husband had sent me, that I wasn't going to hurt her. Breath. She growled. Not a word, not a sound a person makes, a growl. Then she lowered her shoulders and charged. We hit the floor together. She was on top of me before I could get my arms up. Her hands went for my face. Her mouth was open, saliva dripping from those teeth onto my skin. But it gets worse. She was stronger than she looked, far stronger. I got a foot braced against her stomach and shoved with everything I had. She flew back and struck the wall. I ran for the door. She grabbed the back of my shirt before I reached it. The fabric pulled taut. I lurched backward. My hand scraped across the floor and hit something solid, a glass perfume bottle, knocked loose in the struggle. Breath. I grabbed it. I swung. She didn't stop. I swung again. And again. I stopped counting. I only stopped when the room went quiet. I dropped the bottle. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I needed to get out of that room, out of that apartment, out into air that didn't smell like that. I was 3 steps from the front door when I saw the shadow beneath it. 2 feet, still, waiting. The door opened slowly. "Darling, are you done already?" The old man's voice, quiet, a little nervous. He walked through the living room toward the bedroom. I pressed myself behind the sofa and held my breath. Just before he stepped through the doorway, he said one more thing. "Have you eaten him already?" There was a frying pan in the kitchen sink, left over from his breakfast. When the old man found his wife on the bedroom floor, he started crying, bent over her, mumbling something I couldn't make out. Breath. I walked in behind him without a word. When he came to, he was tied to a chair, bed sheets, tight, enough knots that he wasn't going anywhere. I was sitting across from him with a kitchen knife resting in my hand where he could see it. Breath. I asked him how many times he'd done this. He said a few. I asked what had happened to her, what she was, what had turned her into that. He said they'd come back from vacation and she'd changed. Every day after, she grew worse, hungrier, for people. He couldn't explain what she'd become. He only knew that he loved her and that she needed to eat. So he found homeless people, people the world had already stopped looking for, people he could dangle $100 in front of, point at an address, and write off. Nobody would notice they were gone. I'd heard enough. I stuffed a piece of cloth into his mouth before he could say anything else, locked the bedroom door from the outside, left the key in the lock. On the street, I dropped the key into a storm drain and kept walking. I don't know what happened to him after that. I don't let myself think about it. What I do know is this. Whatever that woman became, whatever came back from that vacation wearing her skin, she isn't what haunts me most. What haunts me is the old man, his calm voice at the door, the practiced way he'd handed me the money. The way he'd already run the math on which lives cost less than others. He'd done it before, multiple times. I was just the one who walked back out. I still have the $100. I haven't spent a cent of it. I don't think I ever will. If tonight's story is the kind of thing that gets under your skin, and you prefer your horror in audio form, something to sit with in the dark, give Audible a try. 30 days, free at audible.com, ep free trial. There are titles on there that deal in exactly this kind of dread. The ordinary transaction that turns wrong, the person you trusted for 30 seconds too long. Tonight's story would feel right at home. Save this video for later. The next time someone offers you easy money for something that sounds too simple, you'll want to remember it. And I want to know what you think. What came back from that vacation? What was living inside that woman? Leave your theory in the comments. I read every single one.